it's me again. Come for another rant. I'm watching the news and judicial system, the DOJ is sitting there saying, well, we don't know if we have the right to prosecute an ex-president. Stop! Right there. An ex-president, a former president, is no more than a citizen. An average, everyday citizen. The moment Biden was put into office and Trump left office, Trump became nothing more than a citizen. Therefore, subjected to the laws of any other citizen in this nation. To the legal laws, to the constitutional laws, to the federal laws, to the state laws, to whatever laws any other citizen is subject to. Trump was subject to it the instant he left that White House for the last time and ceased being president. Plain blank, period. Other thing people are forgetting, because for a while there, the Republicans had all the power in Congress, all the power in the executive, and set it up so they had all the power in the judicial system, including in the Supreme Court. You people need to start wising up. The congressional, executive, and judicial system are three separate branches. Each branch is supposed to keep check on the other branches. In other words, the judicial is to keep check on the congressional and the executive. The congressional is to keep check on the executive and the judicial. The executive is to keep check on the congressional and the judicial. Now, the judicial system has the right to indict and prosecute a sitting president if what the sitting president is doing is against the law and Congress refuses to take action. Congress can take action when the president has done something that is against the law or unbecoming of the presidential office. And I mean literally, like doing a quid pro quo, which isn't against the law, but something a president shouldn't do. Congress can impeach him and hand down a sentence. The House impeaches, the Senate hands down the sentence. The House is supposed to be a check on the Senate, and the Senate is supposed to be a check on the House. And the executive is supposed to be a check on both the Senate and the House, and the judicial is a check on both of them. Our government was set up that way so that no branch of our government holds all the power. All the power is supposed to be with the people. Even the Electoral College was set up simply to keep a president who has a proclivity to going against constitutional law, a proclivity to doing illegal things. A person like that is not fit for office. That's when the Electoral College has the right to say, no. I know the majority of the people voted a different way, but we've taken a look at this, and this guy is not fit for presidential office. in any way, shape, or form, so we're going to vote a different way. If he's fit for presidential office, he has no strikes as far as being able to pass a background check. He has no strikes as being able to follow the constitutional law. He has no strikes as far as his mental abilities. He's a good person. You may not like him, but he's a good person. Then the Electoral College is supposed to go by the way of the popular vote. The Electoral College is to be there as only as a check against a president who could possibly destroy our democracy and implement an autocracy. Something, I'm sorry, you Republicans, if you don't like me saying it, but it's the fact. That's what the Republicans were trying to do when they got full control of the House, the Senate, and the presidential. They then put in place so that they had control over the judicial system and the Supreme Court. The only problem they had was some of those judges respected the Constitution. If they didn't, the Republicans would have succeeded in putting in place an autocracy. Full-blown 100% autocracy. But there were certain things that the judicial system would not allow, including some of the judges that the Republicans put in place. That's what saved us. The other things that saved us were the other people out in our country who refused to overturn a lawful election, who refused to deny the people their vote. That is what saved our country. Because if those systems weren't in place, if those people weren't in place, Trump would have gotten away with turning our country into an autocracy, not a democracy. He would have retaken office against the people's wishes. And since the Electoral College voted with the people, Trump lost. And there was no autocracy. You people are not getting that, and you're forgetting that right now Trump is nothing more than an average, everyday citizen. Nothing special. He is to be held accountable to the same laws you are. He can be indicted for breaking the same laws that if you broke them, you would be indicted and put in prison. If he unlawfully takes government paper documents from the White House, he can be indicted for that. If he takes any of those documents, trades, sells, gives away, or shows them to a foreign entity, he can be indicted on treason. Plain, blank, and simple. So you better be wondering, where are those 40 top secret documents that the FBI can't find. Is Trump right now guilty of treason? Did he perform a treasonous action after he left office in one of his trips to Europe? Did he then hand those paperwork over, those documents over to a foreign entity, say Russia, Iran, Iraq, any other foreign, even to Britain or the UK or England or any place? Did he hand those paperwork over to somebody that could not have them? Because he unlawfully took them from the White House and then traded it to them for perhaps a deduction. If you remember right, when he left office, Russia was ready to cash in his debt with their bank. Is that how Trump stopped them from doing that? Because he handed that paperwork to him? And I think Turkey was the same way. Did he stop that by happening by trading top secret documents he had no right to take from the White House to those countries? Is that how he won his way out of debt? Because right after he left office, Turkey and Russia were hollering about how they were going to cash in his debt. And then we stopped hearing about it at all. He owed these people billions. How the hell did he come up with all that money to back them off? Think about it, people. And if he traded them documents to a foreign entity, the DOJ has a legal right to indict him. The FBI has a legal right to arrest him because he is now a citizen. He no longer has the rights of the executive office. He is held accountable to the same laws of a citizen. And you need to remember that. Our system has been swaying towards an autocracy for quite a while now. And it's been swaying so hard there that we seem to forget that the executive, the congressional, and the judicial branches of government are three separate branches. And those three separate branches are to be a check on each other. Not allowing the other two branches to get away with unconstitutional actions. And if you don't start remembering that, we're going to lose our democracy. And then where will we be? Is that really the country you want to live in? Take a look at what's happening in Iran. Take a look at what's happening in China. Their government are shooting their own people for peacefully protesting and killing them. Is that the country you really want to live in? Think about it. it's too late.